Hello everybody, my name is Trikopani and here is Bukit Bintang, the commercial heart of Kuala Lumpur. This video is a general Kuala Lumpur guide. Many people know that here is the biggest city in Malaysia and also it has the famous Petronas Twin Tower. But I'm sure that many people don't know about this detail. And this video is for you. I will tell you almost thing about this city. Yes, it's time to discover Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur is the capital city of Malaysia. Putrajaya to the south took the administrative part, but Kuala Lumpur is still more representative of the country. It's located in the south central part of the Malay Peninsula between Bangkok and Singapore. It's exactly opposite the famous vacation destination of Kota Kinabalu. This latitude of Kuala Lumpur is further south than you might think. Other areas of similar latitude are Kenya and Congo in Africa, and the North Amazonian rainforest in Brazil. The name Kuala Lumpur means muddy confluence. You will learn more about this point later in the area part. The name is long and confusing to pronounce, so people just call it KL. KLCC, Kuala Lumpur City Center with the Petronas Twin Towers. KLIA, Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Anyway, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's largest city, the official specs are pretty modest, with an area of 243 square kilometers and a population of about 1.8 million. It's about 30% of size of New York City and about same population as Manhattan. But that's just for the center, the city of Kuala Lumpur. The actual Kuala Lumpur metropolitan area includes the neighboring cities of Petaling Jaya, Subang Jaya, Abang Jaya, Klang. So the metropolitan area has a population of about 7.5 million and a land area of over 13,000 square kilometers. The population of Malaysia is above 33 million, so it's 20% of the country's population. Now it looks like a real capital city. It has a good economy, with GDP per capita over 28,000 US dollar in 2023. The number of skyscrapers over 150 meters is 167. Ranking 7th in the world, more than Shanghai, Bangkok, Seoul, and Singapore. But the city's history is not that long. The city was officially built in 1857, just after the Crimean War. Here was originally a barren wasteland, but tin was discovered in Ampang Mountains. The settlement of the miners was the beginning of Kuala Lumpur. They were mainly southern Chinese, aka Coolie. To this day, Kuala Lumpur has a higher percentage of Chinese than the Malaysian average. Also, rubber plantations were developed, and many Indians came to work there. After the Second World War, the British colony of Malaysia gained independence, and it developed into the present country of Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur became the capital of the country, and while tin and rubber were the country's initial bread and butter, the country has since grown rapidly and shifted its focus to services. Kuala Lumpur has benefited greatly from this. So, now you have every clue to understand the features of Kuala Lumpur. Muslims make up about 60% of Malaysia's population. However, from the beginning, foreigners came and developed this city. So Kuala Lumpur has been a cosmopolitan city since its inception. First of all, the basic Islamic culture. The main institution in the city center is the mosque. And you see a lot of Malay women in hijabs. The next most common is the Chinese. You don't see as many Buddhist and Taoist temples as you do mosque, but Chinese restaurants are very prominent in this city. It's really easy to find good Chinese food. Indian is no slouch either. There's a Hindu temple right next to the famous Petaling night market. The very famous Batu Caves in the north of the city are also Indian. The Indian dish biryani is common in Kuala Lumpur. And then there's the churches that the British left behind. It is impressive even in the ethnically diverse Southeast Asia. Compared to other big cities like Bangkok and Hanoi, they have clear mainstreams, Thai and Vietnamese. But Kuala Lumpur is definitely more diverse and cosmopolitan. Kuala Lumpur has a tropical rainforest climate. This is hot and humid all year round. And it's also economically developed. So there are a lot of big shopping malls here. The evening is cooler and night markets are open. So there's some competition after sunset, but during the day, mall is the only place to really hang out. Central Station, Petronas Twin Towers, they have malls. Even the busiest downtown area, Bukit Bintang, is more than half malls. You can go to any neighborhood and there's one big mall. It doesn't mean that there's no distinctive local street retail or eatery, but almost Kuala Lumpur's high-end restaurants and places to buy things are all in malls. If not malls, at least the lower floors of skyscrapers. This is a feature shared with Singapore and Bangkok, which are similarly economically developed. Malaysia is basically a Muslim-oriented country. Of course, Kuala Lumpur has a large Chinese and foreign population. Alcohol and pork are still pretty easy to find, but sexual nightlife is not really relevant. In Thailand, Vietnam, and Philippines, you can find that in many major destinations: Manila, Pattaya, Bangkok, Saigon. There are many walking streets and sexual bars, right? Of course, people live in Kuala Lumpur. There's dancing clubs, there's a beer street, there's a nightlife. Some mysterious girls appear at Bukit Bintang, and there's one or two sexual spas here and there. But at least when you walk down the street anywhere, you won't encounter naked prostitutes or red houses. Also, you won't get a massage that turns into something sexual. It is always better to start in the center of city. I explained earlier that the word Kuala Lumpur means muddy confluence, and that's here, the river of life. The big city with millions of people started from this little place. Kuala Lumpur was also built by Chinese tin miners, and because of that, Chinatown, the oldest neighborhood Kuala Lumpur, is here. Let's look around the iconic Petaling Street Market. There are also tons of Chinese restaurants and shops, and Chinese Taoist temples are also easily found. Chinatown is definitely a touristy neighborhood. The markets, restaurants, and hostels are full of tourists. And to transport teens, there had to be a railroad. So Kuala Lumpur Station was built southwest of Chinatown. Now it's just a pretty classic building, because Central Station to the south took the main station of this city. And there were Indians who came to work in the rubber plantations. They settled north of Chinatown, near Jalan Masjid India, or Indian Temple Road. Unlike Chinatown, this is not a touristy neighborhood. It's a real local neighborhood, but the night market here is worth checking out for its authentic vibe. There are many other important things to see in the neighborhood. Kuala Lumpur's traditional landmark, Merdeka Square, between Chinatown and Indian Street. Surrounded by a variety of modernist buildings, it was once the center of Kuala Lumpur's governance. And the impressive blue-roofed National Mosque of Malaysia. In many ways, the old city center is where you can really feel the root of Kuala Lumpur. Oh, and the world's second tallest building, KL 118, was built right next to the Chinatown. It is a sight to behold no matter where you are. Also, west of the National Mosque is the Perdana Botanical Garden. It opened in 1888 and is not one big rainforest park, but it's got a lake park, a bird park, an observatory, and other gardens inside. It's an important area that serves as the main green space in downtown Kuala Lumpur. As Kuala Lumpur has grown, a variety of new neighborhoods has emerged. The most prominent of these neighborhoods is Bukit Bintang in the east. It is now the alpha and omega of Kuala Lumpur's commercial scene. It's a neighborhood with a tremendous amount of foot traffic. Let's just take in the atmosphere for a moment. The northwestern area of the crossing is bustling with street vendors. Changka Street is Kuala Lumpur's main pub street. It is the only place in town where you can find an open-air drinking and hanging out atmosphere. The Jalan Alor Night Market down the street is another of the city's main night markets. It's a more of food and restaurant market than a souvenir shopping center. The east side, on the other hand, is dominated by large luxury shopping malls and hotels. The Pavilion, Fahrenheit, Star Hill, and other fancy shopping malls attract the attention of passing tourists. There are also several international luxury hotels, such as JW Marriott, Westin, Ritz-Carlton. But that's not all. There's a little neighborhood here in southeast that's got some great old local restaurants, mostly Chinese. And beyond that is the newest mall, TRX. is currently the hottest new mall in Kuala Lumpur, and the first Apple store in Malaysia opened here. Then to the east is that of a clubbing district called Track. To the south is a neighborhood called Pudu. This is also a good area for cheap Chinese food, but it is a bit far from Bukit Bintang, though. Now, the next part we are going to explore is the sprawling skyscrapers area north of Bukit Bintang. It's actually not the most fun area to walk around. Chinatown, Jalan Masjid India, and Bukit Bintang, all they have a traditional downtown style, which is fun to walk around. But here, there's almost nothing but skyscrapers. Of course, it's not just offices. There are a lot of luxury hotels and restaurants in the buildings, so it is a kind of neighborhood for wealthy journey. Let's start with the Kuala Lumpur Tower to the west, or KL Tower for short. It has a simple shape and there are observation decks on the top. It's also basically quite tall, and the fact is that it's on the hill, so the view here is one of the best city views in Southeast Asia. And on the other side of KL Tower, there are Petronas Twin Towers and KLCC. KLCC is Kuala Lumpur City Center. The neighborhood around the Twin Tower is usually called KLCC. KLCC station is also here. The Petronas Twin Towers don't need much introduction, do they? They are Malaysia's most famous landmark. They are quite a bit lower than KL118, but their colorful shapes and lighting its presence at night is overwhelming. And it's not just the towers, there's more to the neighborhood. First up is KLCC Park, the only park near Bukit Bintang. It's a small park, but it's well organized and worth a break. There are also several malls near the tower, so it is a good place to eat and explore while you are here. To the northwest of KLCC, the area is dominated by low-rise buildings. The Saloma Link Bridge is a very photogenic vantage point, so it is frequented by locals. And beyond that, Chowkit area is full of cheap Malay restaurants. If you want to try real nasi lemak and rendang locally, it is a good option. But not all of Chowkit is like that. South of Chowkit area, near Dang Wangi station, there are some pretty well decorated eateries where the wealthy Malaysian locals hang out. The Petronas Twin Towers peeking out from here is another nice touch. While Bukit Bintang was being developed into a mega commercial district, Central to the south has taken over as a new transportation hub. The name means Central, but with a Malaysian twist, Central with an S. It is a metro hub for the entire metropolis, beyond Kuala Lumpur city. So, many different urban rail lines intersect at Central, and its prime location has also attracted a number of high-rise offices and hotels. Hilton, Le Méridien, St. Regis, and Aloft are the major hotels here. And then south of Central is a neighborhood called Brickfield. This neighborhood is also known as Little India because its large Indian population. It has a more relaxed atmosphere than Jalan Masjid India, so foreign tourists can enjoy a relaxed dining experience. South of Brickfield, it is not quite as bustling as Central. There are a few dotted sites, one big Taoist temple, and two big malls of Mid-Valley Megaville and Garden Mall. So that's how we got to know the main parts of Kuala Lumpur city. Now let's broaden our scope a bit more. The main satellite city east of Kuala Lumpur is Ampang Jaya. I mentioned it briefly in the city overview. There is where tin was found and became the basis of Kuala Lumpur's urban development, but it's far from the sea and has narrow strip of flat land. It's fairly undeveloped area around Kuala Lumpur. You may don't have any business in here, just understand that this is the background of Kuala Lumpur history. By the way, in Malay, Jaya means success, not city. The Malay word for city is bandar. Also, Bukit means hill. There's not much north of the city either, but there are a few fun places to visit. First up is Titi Wangsa Lake Park, not far from Bukit Bintang. This park offers one of the best views of Kuala Lumpur skyline from the ground. The nearby National Art Gallery is also worth a visit. It's not all contemporary art, but it's not hard to understand. It's also very local, with a lot of Malaysian colors. And Batu Caves at the end of it. This large mountain and cave, they can be seen from the KL Tower in the city center. It has a very large statue of the god of war, Murugan, and you can climb the stairs to the temple inside the cave yourself. To the west of the city, you will find some more affluent neighborhoods, the most famous of which is, of course, Mont Kiara. It is not monkey, it is same Mont with Mont Saint-Michel. It's a neighborhood where many foreigners from Korea and Japan live, so there are many Korean restaurants. There are also many luxury places around the area, including the Royal Palace and the upscale shopping mall Publica. Beyond that, Petaling Jaya is the second largest city in the Kuala Lumpur metropolitan area. It's big, but also a planned city. It doesn't really have much to offer as a tourist destination. The airport here in Subang has very few routes, so there's no point in going there. Maybe if you're with a kid, you may visit Kizania. Finally, in the south, you will find Putrajaya, Malaysia's administrative capital. It is a new city that was created to break up the congestion in Kuala Lumpur. It's clean, it's got a nice new mosque, it's got a lot of parks, so a lot of people come here for sightseeing. And beyond that, to Kuala Lumpur International Airport. It is a very impressive airport with a dedicated AirAsia terminal. AirAsia is a Malaysian low-cost carrier based on Kuala Lumpur. Now again, let's broaden the scope a bit more. Genting Highland. It is a highland above 1,800 sea level, as the name implies. Malaysian people developed here as a complete amusement park, so Genting got some attractions, casinos, malls and hotels. Next up is Firefly Colony, about 50 kilometers to the northwest. It's called Selangor, but it actually means the name of its state. It's like a California Firefly tour. The last is Malacca, 120 kilometers to the south. It is the fundamental region of Malaysia, with a long history and many historical sites. The details will be covered in the content video. So let's recap what we learned today. General things to Kuala Lumpur.
Yes, this is it. Now you know about the Kuala Lumpur itself. To understand the city from its background is always exciting to me. I hope you feel the same too. This place where I end this video is the famous Twin Towers, Petronas Twin Towers. Thank you for watching this long video and thank you again.